Hey chat, today we're going to be reading some of the most unhinged Reddit stories I could find, and I'm going to try not to lose my mind. So kick back, enjoy, and let's get into it. Alright, first story. Am I the asshole for breaking up with a boyfriend, male 33, over an unfunny prank? Okay, so I, female 33, dated John, male 33, about 8 years ago, so we were 25-ish. It was almost a year-long relationship, 10 months or so. A week ago was the first time I've seen John since, because we were both at a friend's party who was celebrating that friend becoming a father, okay? John got super drunk and decided to tell anyone who would listen the story of how we broke up. Alright, already off to a great start. After hearing it, mostly men were telling me I completely overreacted. Okay, alright. Here's the story that started our breakup. John was staying at my place that night. I woke up and it was Saturday morning. I went downstairs to make a coffee, and I heard him having a shower upstairs, and he came down dressed and ready to go to work. I figured out he got confused and thought it was a work day. I didn't say anything until he was putting his shoes on. I was repeatedly asking him, "So what day is it?" Until he got a bit mad, looked at his smartwatch and saw it was Saturday. He was quite mad at me and said it was a bad prank and he will pay me back. Okay, getting quite mad over someone just like teasing you a little bit over your own mistake, which honestly is a funny mistake, getting up on the wrong day, getting dressed, and then, I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty fucking funny. Like waiting until he's like almost ready to leave to like kind of tell him what's going on. I think that's funny, and I think it's harmless. Like, it'd be a different story if like she waited for him to like get in his car and start driving, or even like get to the, you know, his workplace to find out that it's fucking Saturday. But she essentially was kind of just teasing him. So I find it kind of crazy that he was quite mad at like a little tease like that, and that he felt the need to pay her back. But let's keep going before I get way too into it. The next day we were apart and he texts me, "We need to talk. I'm so sorry. I got another girl pregnant." So that's pretty crazy, I'm not gonna lie. That's like the equivalent of like poking someone on the shoulder and then them turning around and fucking socking you in the face. That's kind of that's a crazy payback prank to try to pull, but okay. To which I replied something along the lines of, "If this is your attempt of a payback prank, consider it failed." After that, John double, triple, and quadrupled down on it. Not once, not twice, not thrice. He quadrupled down. That's fucking crazy. Okay. He swore to everything he holds dear that it was true, and even sent me a clearly fake ultrasound picture. I kept telling him, "Dude, I don't believe you. Stop. You're making this incredibly weird." I think he's incredibly weird. He did not back down. After a full day of convincing me in vain, I was so weirded out that I told him, "Well, okay, if you're having a baby with the mystery lady, then we need to break up." And he was like, "Ha ha ha, my prank worked. Boom, pranked." Brother, this is not the own you think it is. This guy is just like oozing insecurity. I can already feel it. But let me finish, alright? After this incident, I was too weirded out by him. We broke up a few days later, with him being completely unwilling to acknowledge he took it too far and framing it as, "I just needed some more convincing to fall for it." She just needed a little more convincing and it would have been a good prank. Interesting. 8 years later, 8 years, oh my god. He's clearly still heard about it because he was telling everyone and basically doing a poll on who was wrong. Some people were coming up to me and telling me it was just a joke. It's just a joke, bro. It's just content, bro. So am I the asshole for breaking up with the guy over a bad prank? I'm going to be so honest right now. I'm going to be 100%. I'm going to keep it a stack. I'm going to keep it a bean. That would have gave me the craziest ick. She is 100% in the right. Oh my God. I would have done the same shit. I'm not even going to lie, bro. That's just so annoying. Like, it's pretty obvious that the guy's like incredibly insecure for some reason. Obviously, like, the situation in and of itself is maybe minor, but I feel like it's pointing to a very deeper insecurity. And I think she said that they weren't in the relationship very long. It was about 10 months or so, she said. So I feel like, I don't know, 10 months, it's not that long to me. I feel like it's all right to to get the ick at that point and fucking cut shit off. I'm not gonna lie, that would have pissed me off, bro. That would have been my last straw, man. I wouldn't be able to put up with that. But yeah, I feel like the fact that like she clearly knew that he was trying to quote unquote prank her. It was a terrible prank, not a good one at that. She wasn't falling for it at all, and he kept pushing, like he quadrupled down and kept trying to like push it on her and like get revenge, I guess. I don't know. It's just giving insecurity. It's giving like, if this is how he reacts to something that's like not that serious, I can't imagine how he'd react to something a lot more serious, you know? And again, 10 months isn't a long time. I feel like that's like enough time to still not really see a lot of parts of a person, especially if you're not like seeing each other super frequently or not like living together or anything like that. Yeah, I feel like this is a moment where like the mask kind of like slips. I don't know. I feel like that's a red flag to me. I'm not saying he's like the worst person in the world. I'm not even necessarily saying it was like the right or wrong decision to break up, but I'm just saying me personally, I would have done the same shit. That would have pissed me off so much, bro. And then the fact that like 8 years later, 8 years, bro, 8 years, you're at a party trying to convince everyone that she was in the wrong. Like, clearly he's incredibly insecure even 8 years later. That's fucking crazy. So I don't know, if you ask me, I feel like she made the right decision. I think not the asshole. I feel like a judge every time someone says NTA. What do the comments say? Not the asshole. John is such a loser. He sounds insufferable. I bet his friends are sick of hearing him bitch about it. And OP probably looked pretty good at the party. I agree. That's what I'm saying. NTA, you didn't break up with him because you were hurt. So hurt by the prank and you wouldn't be able to get over the pain. You broke up with him because you realized things about his personality that made you not like him anymore, and those things were very valid. See, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, it's like the mask slipped, you know? And first of all, he got mad at you for pranking him when he got the day wrong and you just didn't say something right away. He got so mad that he felt the need for revenge. Yeah, huge red flag. He just like took it so personally. These two things would already be enough for me to reconsider the relationship. Then you learn he has a terrible sense of humor and is kind of dumb. I didn't even think of that. So it's a little not all there. The joke was executed super poorly, and also cheating isn't funny. Lastly, he acted out a weird obsession with being able to fool you and then saying he had fooled you when he clearly hadn't. 1, he gets mad over nothing. 2, needs to get revenge. 3, not at all funny. 4, obsessively needs to outsmart you without being close to smart. Those are just things you shouldn't want in a spouse. I'd dumb that spouse too. Amen. I'm not gonna lie. I would have done the same thing. But yeah, I think that was a funny one. All right, next one. Am I the asshole for not going by a different name than my birth name because it makes my friends uncomfortable? Interesting already. Okay, I honestly think this whole situation is stupid. It sounds stupid, I'm not gonna lie, but I want some outside opinions. I, 21 female, have always been questioned about my name. Most people assume it's a chosen name, but it's the one on my birth certificate. I honestly like my name and the meaning behind it, but apparently my friends think it's inappropriate to go by it. I don't know. I'm gonna keep reading, but like right off the bat, how can your birth name be inappropriate and being okay, anyway. My name is Moonshadow. Oh, shit. Sounds like a freaking RPG character, like a Baldur's Gate character or something. That's pretty fucking sick, I'm not gonna lie. Wish my name was something cool like that. And it's after a song and astrological effect. I've dealt with questions my whole life, and most of my teachers throughout school would refer to me by my middle name because it was easier to remember. Moonshadow. Hard to... I don't see how that's hard to remember. Now that I'm an adult, I get less comments or questions. My friends have never seemed to care about my name, and I never really thought anyone did because it's just my name. However, the other day we were supposed to meet up at a restaurant and I walked into this weird vibe. Basically, all of my friends had staged an intervention to tell that they wanted me to go by a different name because they felt uncomfortable with using mine. And they had to sit you down for your own name. That's pretty fucking crazy, I'm not gonna lie. That would have pissed me off right there. I would have started fucking, I don't know, I would have went crazy, I'm not gonna lie. When I asked why they said that my name sounded native and that by using it I was appropriating Native American culture, do they not know that's your birth name? Like, I can maybe understand if they think that's like you're like a chosen name, but I think she clearly mentioned that it's not a chosen name and that they know that. I pointed out that I was Cherokee and they said that I didn't act it. Oh. Pause. Microaggression. Racist. That's crazy to say. Oh yeah, you don't act black enough. Could you imagine oh my god, nah, if someone said that to me, nah. Okay, that just settles it right there. I'm gonna keep reading it, but that just settles it right there. They're completely in the wrong right there, bro. That's nuts. That's absolutely nuts to say. They said that I didn't act it, so it didn't count. Okay, I'll keep reading. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. At that point, I was irritated and snapped at them, as you should, saying that I wasn't going to change my name because they were racist. That's pretty crazy. Were there no signs whatsoever in the past about no, not to call you out here, but was there no signs about your friends being kind of weird? Which is probably out of line looking back. I don't think so. I don't think so. I left after that, and now my phone is being blown up by messages from the group and people outside of it saying that I'm being a bad friend for not respecting a boundary. This might be one of those too woke situations. I'm not gonna lie. This is a little too woke. Okay, we're getting a little too crazy with this. Oh my god, this reminds me of that meme on Twitter. I'll see if I can find it, where it's like, you people can't do anything. Oh my god, bro. No, this is crazy. This is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Setting up an intervention and then getting other people involved in it, that's just like that's just crazy. I honestly don't see anything wrong with my name, but having so many people tell me that I'm in the wrong is messing with me. I would really appreciate some advice. Don't fucking listen to them. They're fucking stupid. Oh, okay. Sort of update. The rest of this is all updates from the OP. I wasn't really expecting so much attention on this. I've read a lot of comments and a few messages that I've gotten, and it's great to feel validated in the fact that I'm not the asshole. I do want to clear up one thing that I saw a few times. My name isn't Cherokee, so I probably should have explained that better. I just brought up my heritage as a counterpoint to the insane argument that they had. My name comes from a song by Cat Stevens that my mom really liked. I saw a couple people ask about my heritage specifically, which I don't really think is relevant, but whatever. I'm half Cherokee and half white, though I look pretty white. Yeah, I mean, regardless of, your ethnicity, if that's your given name, that's your birth name, that's the name that, you go by, that's like legal. It's not on the right for anyone to tell you that your name's inappropriate. That's fucking stupid. I don't care if it's like a teacher or I'm gonna lose it. How are you gonna tell me that my name is wrong? That's crazy. That's stupid. Yeah, I think your name is cultural appropriation and you need to change it. Let me keep reading. A lot of people are saying that I should leave the friend group, but I'm kind of hesitant to because we've been friends since high school. I think I'm going to try and have a conversation with them again to hopefully fix this situation. I don't want to lose these people who've been around for such a big part of my life, but I don't want to change such a huge part of myself and my identity just to keep them around. I love my name and the meaning it has to both my parents and myself. I don't know if I'll update afterwards, but I'll try to. Thanks again for all your comments. Okay, stop in there. Here's the thing with like high school friends too. I feel like the thing with high school friends also is that like, school is such a mixed bag. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't like, be in like an echo chamber or anything like that and try to only surround yourself with people that like you agree with. But I feel like with with high school especially, it's such a like a mixed bag that like there's just there tends to be some weird people, some crazy people naturally. And I feel like a lot of people, that's the reason why they kind of tend to drift apart from high school friends, specifically after graduating. And I feel like in this situation, it's like, I would not blame you at all whatsoever if you were to start distancing yourself from them, because like, who the fuck are you to tell me that my name is wrong? That's crazy. Clearly there's something, I don't know. I feel like they have some like crazy like virtue signaling or something. Like they really want to seem like they're like, like the good guys or something like that. But it just comes off really bad despite whatever intention they may have had. So I'm not saying they need to like completely cut them off, but like I feel like there's got to be like a boundary there. Like, brother, my name is my fucking name. There's just certain things that like no one else has the right to like tell you about, things that you can't change about yourself. I think it's like no one has the right to come and call you out on that. So that's pretty weird of them to try and do that, especially a fucking intervention. You mean you're gonna sit me down, multiple of you, and try to discuss my name? This is crazy. Another update. I met with the group yesterday to try and talk this out. I'm still pretty upset, so I'm trying to keep this simple and just say what happened. I was pretty tense when I got there and we were all pretty quiet until everyone arrived. I started with saying that I'm not going to change my name, and I asked why they thought it was appropriate to ask me to. Put them on the spot. Nah, that was... Yeah. There was a lot of back and forth, basically repeating what was said the other day. But after I pushed a bit more, one of them, I'll call them Cam, blew up on me. Cam? The fuck are you? Anyway, Cam basically had a list of grievances with me. Oh, okay. I see what this is. They're trying to Trojan horse. You know what I'm saying? They're using this as like you know, a cover for like some other stuff that they have problems with. Now that makes a little bit more sense. Okay. Most of them being related to my heritage, disabilities, and how I dressed. Long story short, I've been working on myself and my health more, and she didn't like the changes. She said that I was selfish for thinking I'm better than everyone and that I'm making everyone uncomfortable. It's all making sense. It's all making sense. There's some jealousy in here. There's some insecurity. That's making more sense. If that was the case, why didn't you just say that? Why didn't you just get to that? We ain't gotta run around in circles. This is crazy. They said that they think that they're better than everyone. That's crazy because of them trying to, you know, better themselves and be the best version of themselves, and you're getting insecure about that. I think that's something you need to take a look at, Cam. After a while of arguing with the group, I decided that I wanted leaving. I texted our group chat that later I would not be contacting them again and that I was done with them. Period. That's honestly, respect. I had to block them after that because they started sending me some pretty nasty messages. I'm still pretty upset about cutting them off, but I know that friends don't act like this. I have friends outside of this group, so I'm not completely friendless now, which is good. I know I made the right decision, but it still kind of sucks. Honestly, blessing in disguise. You don't have to put up with these freaking weirdos anymore. This was definitely like a mask coming off, like, similar to the other one we read. This is just people like letting the mask slip. This is crazy, but I feel like, I don't know, that's a blessing to let them, you know, point out their insecurities to you so that you can fucking move on with your life and have better friends and shit like that and not waste your time on people like that. That's crazy. Over your name? Anyway, I don't even need to read the comments on this one, but yeah, not the asshole saying you don't act Cherokee is totally racist. Exactly what I said. That's fucking crazy. Yeah, this is easy. Let's move on to another one. All right, next one. Am I the asshole for cutting off my childhood friend because she thought I wanted her boyfriend? Ooh, okay. I, 20 female, cut off my best friend of 8 years, 21 female. Let's call her Lucy. We grew up together, lived close by, went to the same school, and eventually ended up at nearby universities. In high school, we both became friends with David, 22 male. I started dating David when I was 16 and he was almost 18. We were together for about a year and a half, and pretty much everyone at school knew we were dating. Honestly, he was a great boyfriend. We eventually broke up because long distance wasn't working after he left for college. I was the one who ended things. There was no cheating, no huge fight, no messy breakup. We stayed on good terms afterward. Every month or two, we'd check in, chat for 10 to 15 minutes, and move on with our lives. I even attended his 20th birthday party. Okay, so this is a healthy, you know, breakup and even somewhat platonic friendship going on thing there. A few months later, Lucy admitted she'd always had a crush on David and asked if I'd be okay with her pursuing him. I was dating my then boyfriend, Mark, was completely in love and genuinely didn't care, so I told her to go for it. The only boundary I had was when she suggested a double date. Mark wasn't exactly thrilled about having dinner with my ex, which, yeah, I think that's reasonable. I think it's pretty reasonable, she says. And so I politely declined. Lucy got weirdly upset over it. Lucy. Fast forward about a year and a half into their relationship. Lucy throws a party. David is there too. I didn't really know a lot of people there. She had invited mostly her uni friends, so he was one of the familiar faces. Every single time I'd start talking to him, she'd magically appear like she had a sixth sense and pull either him or me away with some random excuse. After the third time, I got the message and just kept my distance. Later that night, it got pretty late, and David offered to drop me back to my PG. I'm assuming that's her apartment or something. Yeah, that's crazy. Just, boo! Talking to my boyfriend. Already red flag right there, freaking popping up like Nikki. Ooh. Lucy got into the car too. Oh my god. Okay, literally just like Nikki. Okay, now that's crazy. All he's doing is, you know, giving a ride back. I mean, I can understand there being a little insecurity there, but I still think that's insecurity. And I think it's definitely unreasonable for her to fucking hop into the car. But I think if she was a little worried deep down inside that he was giving a ride, fine, I could give you that. But nah, jumping into the car is crazy. Girl sat in the passenger seat like her boyfriend was about to dry hump me from the driver's seat at a red light. After that, I intentionally distanced myself from both of them. Okay, fairs. I only replied when she texted first, and I stopped talking to David altogether. Okay. I think that's fair. We're being a little weird, so maybe a little distance is necessary. Then, a few weeks ago, Mark and I broke up after 2 years. I was already having a rough time between work, being away from my family, and the breakup. Lucy invited me over to cheer me up. Instead, she tells me David has been distant lately, spends more time gaming with his friends, has been canceling dates, and then asks me if I think it has something to do with me. That's nuts. That's insane. Yeah, my boyfriend's acting a little weird. You think it has anything to do with you? That's crazy. Nah, that's yeah. I think this is just reeking insecurity. I think it's quite obvious that what's her name, Lucy, is quite in the wrong here. But let's just finish for the sake of the story. Mind you, I hadn't spoken to David since the party. Then she clarified she wasn't accusing me of doing anything yet. I don't want my fucking eyes on you, you freaking harlot. She was just worried that now I was single, I might make a move on her boyfriend. That was my breaking point. I ain't gonna lie, I would have crashed out too. I ain't gonna lie, that I would have lost it. I think that's well within her right to go off. I told her if she was this insecure about me and David, she never should have dated him in the first place. I also told her I'd never go after a man in a relationship, period. I let alone my friend's boyfriend. I even showed her my chats with David, which I absolutely did not owe her, just to prove we'd barely spoken. Dang, even going the extra mile. Then I called her insecure, left, blocked her everywhere, and haven't spoken to her since. Some mutual friends think I overreacted because she was just acting. Yo, what's with these friends being like idiots? I'm sorry, why are people stupid? Anyway, but after months of being treated like I was lurking in the shadows waiting for the chance to steal her boyfriend, I was done. Am I the asshole? Absolutely not. Nah, going back to that's like, are you dumb? Are you daft? Anyway, I'm getting mad. Yeah, no, I think that's obvious that what's her name, Lucy, in the situation is overreacting and being like, a little hawking whatever girlfriend or something, I think especially the fact that it had been years after the fact that they dated and they don't really talk to each other at all. I don't understand why there's a reason for that insecurity. I mean, insecurity is insecurity, but I just feel like there was no action on OP's side that really would warrant her being insecure. Yeah, I think it's pretty messed up to just like straight up accuse her without there being any reason for it. I could understand if there was there was some text or there was really obvious behavior, like she's showing up to David's house or something. I don't know, but there was nothing going on clearly. But I think she was just getting very in her own head and being very insecure about her friend, quote unquote, all these friend, quote unquotes. Yeah, this is nuts. And I definitely agree with OP that I feel like in general, if you're this insecure about who your partner dated in the past or things like that, or even body count, stuff like that, I feel like you really should be mindful of yourself and what's her name, Lucy, in this situation. I honestly think I agree with OP. They probably shouldn't have gone into a relationship with that guy in the first place if she was this insecure about who he dated in the past, especially it being her friend, quote unquote. There just has to be a baseline, level of trust and relationships for it to function healthily. And unfortunately, if that baseline isn't there, it's just like a foundation waiting to crumble. So yeah, I feel like OP's definitely not in the wrong. I would have cut her off too. You're being mad weird, accusing me of shit, and I didn't even do nothing. That's crazy. That's freaking crazy. Let me see some of the comments here. Not the asshole. She's projecting her insecurity. Agreed. She clarified she wasn't accusing me of doing anything yet. She just doesn't trust you or her boyfriend at all. Good riddance. That's a good point. She doesn't trust her boyfriend either. And yeah, I feel like if you're, I don't know, in my opinion, my humble opinion, if you're just not ready or capable of trusting the person that you're in a relationship with, maybe you shouldn't get into a relationship at this point. Let me just read what the OP said. That's what always confused me. I've always maintained boundaries with David because I knew they were dating. At first, I completely understood why she might feel a little weird about us being exes. Hell, I even offered to stop talking to him altogether if it'd make her more comfortable. She told me she didn't care and that she trusted both of us. That was clearly a lie. Honestly, not even really OP's responsibility to end contact with the guy because there was nothing wrong going on there. They're just being cordial, The thing is, if you choose to date your friend's ex, you have to accept that both of them are probably going to remain in your life for some capacity. If you're never going to be comfortable with that, then either don't date the guy or distance yourself from the friend. I agree. I think that's fair. So I think OP's 100% in the right. And Lucy, you're fucking tripping. You tripping. Let's be honest. All right, we'll do one more here for this video. I thought this was a interesting one. Just reading a little bit of it. So, would I be the asshole for asking my daughter's boyfriend to stop having dinner with us? Okay, interesting. My daughter, 21, has been dating this guy, 24, for 2 years. It's fairly serious. He is from Mexico and has been in the US since he was 3 years old. He's from, that's kind of weird to say. I feel like if you're here since you're 3, you're pretty much American. You've been here your whole life. He's 24 years old. That's the majority of his life. But okay, all right, red flag from OP, but let's keep going. He has a strange phobia of not wanting anyone to see him eat, and it's real. I've literally never seen this kid put a bite of food in his mouth, despite spending a fair amount of time around him. He is thin, but doesn't look unhealthy. The problem is, we will take them out to dinner occasionally for holidays or special occasions. He always orders a full meal. He will cut up the food, push it around on the plate, but not eat any of it. Then after the meal, he will donate his leftovers to someone else. It's even worse when I make home-cooked meals and they come to dinner. He does the same thing, takes a full plate of food, pushes it around, cuts it up, makes it look messed with, but doesn't eat any of it. Then he will scrape all the food into the trash can after that. Okay, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, it's already a little weird, just like ordering the food and cutting up and not eating it. If that's a genuine phobia, then I can understand that. But don't throw it in the trash, man. That's kind of messed up. Not kind of messed up. That is messed up. I'm starting to get enraged over this. He wastes a horrendous amount of food, and I can't stand the money wasted when we buy him expensive restaurant meals that go completely uneaten. It's even caused a few scenes with waiters asking him what's wrong, do they need to change his order, etc. I've talked to my daughter privately and said, if he doesn't want to eat, that's fine. Just tell him to stop taking plates of food and ordering in restaurants. Her response was, but in his culture, it's rude for him not to take food. I'm not asking him to do that, but I find it so rude that he's willing to keep wasting our money. Food isn't cheap. Would I be the asshole for just announcing that he's no longer invited to meals? All right, there's a bit to unpack here, I'm not gonna lie. Firstly, okay, the cultural thing about not denying food, I can understand that because it's the similar thing like in my culture too, like especially when you go over to someone's house, especially like like your grandmother or aunt or something, they like are obligated to feed you and they're gonna make sure you eat and you can't leave until you eat. So it is kind of rude to like not accept the food, but it's also rude to throw it in the trash and not eat it. But I think honestly, like if he has a genuine phobia, I think him like giving the food to someone else, I think is okay. I think maybe he shouldn't order like really expensive foods, but more so than anything, OP, I feel like you could just not do things involving food. You don't have to go to dinner every time you meet. You can go do something else that doesn't involve having to sit down and eat. That doesn't have to be the only way that like you bond with each other. I can understand if like he's visiting the house for like a dinner and there's other people around. In that case, like yeah, I it's weird because if it's, let's say it's a genuine phobia, like it's something like that he can't really control at the moment, then like I think it's fair if he just, donates his food to someone else. If it's just him being like a little picky, which it doesn't sound that way. It sounds like there's something more to it. But if it was just him, being picky, then yeah, that's pretty messed up. I feel like a lot of this could just come down to better planning and communication too. Like you could just literally just tell him respectfully how you're feeling. Like, hey man, if you don't want to eat, I understand, maybe we can like get something cheaper, or you don't have to eat, that's fine. And it's not a big deal, but again, even more so than that, to not make it awkward for you, because it clearly seems like the OP is like really weirded out by it and feels uncomfortable because of it. You could just not do things involving food. You can, I don't know, go to a park, go see a movie, go do anything else that you can bond over, and not have to feel obligated to buy a meal. And yeah, going back to the cultural thing, I think he's really pinning out his culture, and it sounds like there could be, I'm not trying to accuse, it sounds like there could be a little bit of some little racism going on in here, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's kind of weird, especially at the beginning, to point out that he's from Mexico, but he's been here since he was 3 years old. I feel like that's kind of okay, maybe if he's saying his ethnicity is Mexican and that's the background, but a little weird there. But nonetheless, I feel like this is just poor communication and lack of planning. You could easily just do something else, bro. It's really, I think there's ways to work around it. Especially, it seems like the guy is being very respectful, despite his phobia or whatever it is that's making him not want to eat. I feel like, at least from the little bit that he said, it seems like the guy is being as respectful as he can be about it, aside from throwing it in the trash. I think that's where I would draw the line. I think it is rude, especially if someone like cooked a really like nice meal, to just throw it in the trash. You should take the leftovers, give it to your girlfriend, give it to someone else, but don't fucking throw it away. But yeah, other than that, I don't know. I think a lot of situations could just be resolved with a little bit of better communication and planning, and that sounds like kind of what's going on here. But let me see what people in the comments are saying. What do they think? Be kind and stop inviting him to dinners. Surely there are other ways you can spend time with him that doesn't involve food. Exactly what I said. Yeah, like, you don't have to invite him to dinners. There can be other stuff that you can do. And if your daughter gets offended, tell her that you also find it rude that he wastes food, so not inviting him to eat will keep both sides happy. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I don't think that's a big deal to communicate. Maybe that's just me, but I don't feel like that's a big deal to communicate that, you know, you're a little offended of him, especially if he's throwing the food in the trash. I think that's fair. That's fair. I don't know. I think, hold on. It's rude in your culture to waste food. Explain it to him if your daughter won't. He's been here since he was 3. If he hasn't learned yet, he needs a lesson. That's crazy. This person's a racist. That's crazy to say. And it, oh my God, this has 2.4K upvotes. Yeah, no, it's crazy to say. Listen, I feel like that's not super relevant to the situation at hand. Obviously, I think the culture thing is a little bit of a factor, but it's mostly his phobia. And I just don't understand people nitpicking about shit like that. I feel like, you know, a lot of racist people, or just people who have, you know, those sort of, what do they call it? The, like, implicit biases, or there's like, you know, a lot of subconscious, you know, racism. They're kind of looking for something to confirm their bias and to be upset about, and like, they're not looking for a solution. They just want to be angry, if that makes sense. Like, this commenter especially, like, they're not even like willing to try and understand the situation. They're just immediately focusing on the person's race, which is crazy. And I feel like, you know, some people just like, they just can't, you know, conceive of like dealing with things in a way that doesn't, you know, involve like negativity or some shit, or fucking racism in this case. Yeah, some people OP could be a bit of a piece of shit. I don't know. This commenter, Malibu Cat 48, I think they're a piece of shit. I'm gonna say it. Malibu Cat, if you're watching. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. And I feel like some people are just fucking looking for something to be upset about and something to nitpick about people without trying to come to a solution. So I feel like that can't really be resolved if someone's very closed-minded and stuck in their ways. I feel like that's a different situation altogether. So that's, yeah, the commenter under it said, if he's been here since his 3, this is his culture. That's a bullshit cop-out. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's fucking crazy. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I think this could have been easily resolved. I don't think this is as big of a deal. I think it is, you know, I think it is a bit of a interesting situation to navigate with his phobia, assuming it is a phobia, but nonetheless, there's plenty of ways you can come to a solution. Just don't fucking eat together, and you don't need to be rude about it. You can just suggest other things, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's all I have for today, guys. I'm trying out a new series on this channel with the Reddit Reacts. I'm definitely going to come back for some more of these. So if you enjoyed, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and that way you'll be notified when there's more. And we can dive into some more crazy shit, hopefully even some more crazier stories, even though I was already getting kind of tilted at some of these. But yeah, if you want to see more, be sure to follow, and I appreciate you for watching. If you made it to the end, thank you so much, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.